If they did fight, though, let's say there was a GSP versus McGregor, whether it's right now or whether it's a little bit down the line, I don't know if McGregor can handle that. I think that might be too big of a leap for McGregor, considering...
That might be a big leap, yeah. The strength and athleticism and the cleverness of GSP could be his kryptonite. But, having said that, I think a lot of people, including myself, are kind of projecting a lot onto McGregor, seeing that he just lost so convincingly. For the first time, he really just wasn't in the same class as his opponent, because it was a boxing fight. But and now people he's lost that aura. Right. Now it's funny because people are saying with a lot of different fights, I hear people saying, he's going to lose to Nurmagomedov.
Right.
He's going to lose to Nurmagomedov. And before the big money fight with Mayweather, people might say that, but they didn't say it with the same amount of gusto and confidence. If he's going to lose to Nurmagomedov, he might lose to Ferguson, he might lose to, he's going to lose to Diaz again. So we might be projecting a little bit. That tends to happen when a fighter loses their aura. But it also tends to happen that when a fighter is on such a hot streak and is like so dominant, one loss can really change that. You see it with Silva, you see it with Fedor, like when they lose it, they lose it.
Right.
I think McGregor at his prime versus GSP, that would be a very, very interesting fight, and I would still have some confidence in McGregor. But now looking at it, it's funny because I actually see him. I would see him losing that fight. I wouldn't put money on him.
Wait, you would see McGregor losing that fight, or you would not?
Yeah, now.
Okay.
But like 6 months ago, I wouldn't have said that. I would have said, that would be a really good fight. McGregor has a chance.
Yeah, I think maybe 6 months ago, I actually might have given McGregor the favor in that fight. But considering that McGregor is a small welterweight and GSP just physically dominated not only a middleweight, but someone who's a relatively large middleweight at that, who has good striking. Bisping is not a slouch in boxing for MMA. And he has really good takedown defense as well. And GSP was able to kind of plow through that. So comparing the two, as far as their physical ability, let's take skill set out of it because that's obviously an attribute. But just on athleticism and physical capacity, I'm not sure if McGregor will be able. Look, if Nate Diaz was the bigger man, and it was hard to deal with.
Right. Yeah. I think I was going to say the same thing. But we saw that just how big a deal size is, again, in just physics. With Nick Diaz, it wasn't his mass so much as his length and his height.
True.
And just Conor having to fight someone who had longer reach than him was, he wasn't used to that. And in both fights, he really struggled.
Yeah.
But I don't think GSP has the reach on him per se, but he definitely has the size and the power.
Yeah, definitely. As far as wrestling acumen, as far as strength and just mass, he definitely has the advantage there.
Yeah. But GSP does get hit a lot. I mean, you've seen his face in the past 2 fights, and he gets busted up a lot.
That's true.
And I mean, so does Diaz. But I mean, Conor puts people away, man. He touches you with the 4-ounce gloves in MMA. He tends to put people away. So you can never write you can never write McGregor off, but I would lean towards GSP if we had to put a gun to my head.
That's actually a good point, and I'll build on that by saying not only, because there are fighters who get hit a lot. We can take both Diaz brothers as an example, but the difference between, let's say, the Diaz brothers or Tony Ferguson and GSP in regards to getting hit a lot is the prior 3 get hit a lot, but they don't get wobbled. We've seen GSP get wobbled a few times off of, a punch or a kick, and you see him go on to Queer Street. So that combination of getting hit a fair amount and being wobbled a fair amount throws an interesting monkey wrench into his system if he were to fight McGregor.
Who, you're saying GSP gets wobbled?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, yeah. He doesn't necessarily have the best chin.
Right.
Not a bad one. Like, this thing, I would say, has a bad chin. He gets dropped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
GSP doesn't have a really bad one, but he doesn't have like a iron chin either. He's not like Nate Diaz. The only time I've seen Nate Diaz get dropped was against Conor and against, what was it, Josh Thompson or something? He got knocked out with a head kick.
I think it was Josh Thompson.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a pretty solid dude. And that really was the difference, his ability to take punishment, I think. People don't really talk about that, but in both fights, Diaz took a lot of punishment. And that was the difference, I think, between the two. There wasn't a huge skill difference. There wasn't a huge strength or power difference. It wasn't that Diaz hit him more. It's just that Diaz was able to take the punishment that Conor gave him, and Conor was not really able to take the punishment that Nate dished out.
Right.
In the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, lots of other fights on this card.
Yeah. Let's hit Joanna.